Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ethics at 8. I'm Dr. Arjun Bopanna. In these sessions, we are discussing previous year questions from UPSC and KPSC exam ethics paper. All right, so let us see today's question on Ethics at 8. So this was asked in KPSC previously. The question is on theories or theorists, and these kind of questions are very often asked in the examination because if you see the syllabus, there is a topic called as moral thinkers and philosophers. Okay, so the question reads like this: critically consider, this is the keyword, okay, the essence, the determinants and consequence of human action with reference to three theories. Okay, one is utilitarian theories, J.S. Mill's theory. So when we do, or when you have read about the various theories, so you have utilitarian theory as one example. So J.S. Mill is one of the proponents of this theory, Charvaka theory and Karma Yoga theory. So how do you determine ethics on the basis of these theories? What is the consequence if you apply this in your action? Okay, so that is what is asked in this particular question. Okay, so it's a 20 marker question. You'll have to write about 300, 350 on this particular topic, and you can take about 10 to 12 minutes to write this answer. So if you are not aware of this theory, so go through this theory and then attempt this particular question. Okay, so take about 10 to 12 minutes, guys. Don't give up, write your answer and then compare it with the discussion and the keywords that I'm going to mention in the answer. Okay, so I hope you all have written the answer for this particular question. Now let's see the structure for this particular question. So the question is asking essence, matlab, what does this theory basically talk about? What does this ethical theory talk about? The essence. According to this theory, what is ethics, or what are the determinants of ethics? What is ethics according to this particular theories, and what is its consequence, impact? So it will have both good and bad impact. Okay, this theory will have consequence which may be good, and it has been criticized also. So therefore there are other theories to counter these theories. Okay, so that's how you have to write. So you write a little bit about as an introduction to ethical theories. So these are theories given by various philosophers in order to guide or help individuals and groups, organization and society to conduct their activities ethically. So there are various theories. The three theories that are mentioned in the question is this. So then you will talk about the utilitarian theory. Okay, you will just briefly introduce what is this utilitarian theory and what essentially it talks about. Okay, then its determinant and its consequence. Consequence both positive as well as negative. Rather, negative means the shortcomings of this particular theory, or how this theory can be misused, misinterpreted, and which can lead to unethical conduct by individuals. Is that understood? So brief introduction into the ethical theories as a whole. Okay, then utilitarian theory, what is the essence of this theory, what are the determinants according of ethics according to this theory, and the consequences, positive and negative. Okay, so that is what you have to write. Same way, you will also have to write about the Charvaka theory. You'll also have to write about the Karma Yoga theory. So now let's just see the content of this particular topic. So first one is utilitarian theory, act utilitarianism. Okay, so there is rule utilitarianism, act utilitarianism, etc. So this is act utilitarianism. Basically, the essence of this theory is that greatest, an ethical action is that action which gives rise to greatest happiness or utility, greatest happiness or action which is going to cause maximum benefit or maximum utility or maximum happiness to the greatest number of people, large number of people. Okay, even though it causes sadness, or it affects adversely, or it causes disharmony, etc., to small number of group or small number of individuals. In spite of that, such action can be considered as ethical, even though it benefits I mean, even though it causes harm to small group of people, but if it is causing benefit, happiness to large number of people, then such an act is called as ethical, according to this utilitarian theory. So what determines ethics according to this theory? Overall happiness and utility. If majority of the people overall are happy or overall benefit from it, then such actions are called as ethical, according to this theory called as act utilitarianism. Is that understood? That's what determines ethics as per utilitarianism. Now, what are the negative aspects of this? What are the negative consequences? The positive consequences, it's a very simple theory and helps individual to take decisions based on the consequence, based on the outcome, based on the consequence and based on the outcome. So it gives a lot of flexibility to individuals to take rational decision, okay, based on the consequence, based on the current context. It does not impose any one single moral principles. It is left to the individual to take rational decisions based on the circumstance. So it helps individual to be more scientific and rational. So that's a positive consequence of this particular theory. What is the negative consequence? As you can see, appreciate over here, small group of people, they may be harmed because of this theory. Okay, and usually what happens is small group means they will be minorities. So it may go against minority interest. It may be potential for exploitation. Large group of people exploiting small group of people. That we see. Give example. Example, the vulnerable groups in our country who constitute a very small number, they may be exploited and it may be justified under utilitarian theory. Okay, minority exploitation. So in many countries, we have seen that minorities have been exploited, have been subjugated to violence, and that may be justified under utilitarianism, right? Similarly, difficulty to calculate the consequence. What is the positive outcome? What is the utility? Because what is utility for me may not be utility for you. How do we justify the outcome to be ethical? Okay, because it becomes very subjective. And it also goes against certain universal moral principles, goes against moral integrity. It undermines moral integrity because you are not abiding by any moral principles. You give it everything to, everything is left to the consequence. Everything is left to the outcome. So those are the negative impact. Some examples also you can add. For example, capital punishment. Capital punishment. So small group of people are punished and given death sentence. Okay, this is to safeguard the society. You can also talk about military interventions by various countries in order to enforce democracy in a country or to promote global peace. So Israel justifies its action, okay, against Palestine, or US war against terror, where it has gone and attacked some other country, is justified under this theory of utilitarianism. All these examples, see, I might not have told it, because of the paucity of time, I might not have explained it in detail, but these are the keywords that should be there in your answer with examples. Capital punishment, military interventions, minority exploitations. These are examples which you have to write when you write this particular answer. Is that okay? So about 1/3 of your answer should talk about this. The other theory which is asked is the Charvaka theory. So this also talks about pursuing pleasure. This is a Indian theory, Indian moral theory, okay, given by philosopher, okay, where the philosopher's name is Charvaka, so therefore it is Charvaka theory, and it is considered as Indian materialistic philosophy. Materialistic, that means it talks about what is real rather than spiritual. So most of Indian theories, Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, which evolved from India, they all talk about morality and spirituality together. So going against this idea of spirituality and other world, supernatural, Charvaka theory talks about the reality, what exists in materialistic form, what we can see, what we can quantify. That is what should be evaluated for human action under this theory. So according to this theory, what this theory says is the ultimate good in life is pleasure. That means what is ethical according to this theory? Our action, if it is going to cause happiness, if it is going to cause pleasure, then it is ethical. Any action, if it causes pain, then it is unethical. So what does it tell you? It tells you that you have to pursue happiness. Kushi sigutta nimge, that is ethical. If it is causing you harm, then it is unethical. If you're not happy with it, it is unethical. Okay, so that is what it is. So what is a determinant? So any action that is pursued, that is done in order to pursue pleasure is ethical. So that is a determinant. Any action, okay, it does not abide by any universal laws or principle. Any action that I do or the society does in order to promote happiness and avoid pain is so accumulation of material wealth. Namge gold ishtana, if we accumulate, we are happy. That is ethical. Okay, sensual pleasure. So therefore, art and paintings, architecture, we spend money, and that is justified under Charvaka. It is good to do that because you are taking care of yourself, right? So that is the principle. So religion, according to it, is wrong. Spirituality, renunciation. Okay, for God or for religion, you give up everything in your life. Okay, that is considered evil according to it. They say that religion is an invention by the powerful to subjugate the weaker section. That's what this theory says. So in way, what is the consequence now? The theory's consequence. These are the keywords. So it gives importance to empirical observation, not something which is supernatural. Is that understood? So sensory experience as a primary source of knowledge, rather than relying on scripts, rather than relying on gurus or swamijis or priests. It tells you, think, observe, see what is real, what it is. Okay, what is empirical? Empirical means what exists here, rather than what will happen next janma, what will happen after life. They are not talking about that. They're telling what you see here today, empirically what you observe is what should be the goal of your action. Scientifically, you think rationally. Thus, it promotes individual autonomy. We are not, subjugated by religious ideas. We are free to think. What we think is right, we should do, rather than some religion telling us what to do, etc. So it helps us in fullest development of self. It also helps engaging, in today's world. Swamijis or somebody who believes in other philosophies, Jainism, Buddhism, or even Hinduism. So dharma is after you reach a particular age, you have to renunciate, meaning give up everything. Kada logbitu vanavasa madbeku. Right? But here what these guys are saying, no, you don't have to renunciate. It rejects renunciation. Live, contribute, serve, develop to your highest level. If you get pleasure serving people, do it. See, Eston Janro, they serve the society. Why do they serve society? Because they get a kind of a kick, a pleasure by helping people. So that is also a part of Charvaka. If you are getting pleasure by serving somebody, do it. If you get pleasure by making money, do it. If you get pleasure by getting materialistic wealth, do it. So it is promoting what? Personal growth. ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ what will happen? You will give up everything. How will you serve the society? Correct? So that's what it is talking about. Positive consequence. But negative consequence will be there. You will become greedy, self-centered. You will not think about others. I get pleasure. So corruption can increase. Oh, I want to make money. Or if not to extreme of corruption, but self-centered interest. We will not take care of anybody, because we will be mainly focused on pleasure. That's a negative consequence. It also neglects long-term consequence. Only immediate gratification we will think of. Okay, whether it is your sensual pleasure, sexual pleasure, etc. We don't think of long-term. Okay, it may have health effects. You want to eat burger one after the other because you like it. But what its consequence on long-term? It may affect our health. We don't think about that. So that's another problem. Rejection of moral and spiritual values. correct? Because you are taking actions based on your interest. It rejects such interest. Okay, so all that is the negative consequences of this theory. Okay, now next, karma yoga. So this is another very important value in Indian way of life, Indian society. Its sources are Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism. Okay, Bhagavad Gita also talks about this karma yoga. I mean, as the name itself suggests, the right actions, karma yoga. Okay, basically what it is trying to say, this is a little bit opposite of Charvaka. Okay, karma yoga means your action should be to do good to others. Okay, so it is selfless actions. Okay, so what is the essence of this theory? Your actions should be selfless, should be to help others. Okay, so that is this theory, karma yoga. Various sources, especially Indian philosophy, religion, talks about karma yoga. Right? We have mission karma yoga also by government to say that if you are civil servant, all your actions should be in the interest of the people, public, society. Right? So this is what it is. So the determinant is that one should fulfill his duties and responsibilities. You are a civil servant, your duties you should serve. It doesn't matter what you personally are interested in. You are a civil servant, you do it. I'm a teacher, my duty I have to fulfill. Is that okay? That is karma yoga. Day, night, morning, evening, whatever it takes, you have to do your duties. That is ethical. So what is the determinant factor? So if you are acting according to your duties, then your actions are ethical. Is that okay? So according to the dharma, every individual is born with certain duties. Okay, according to his varnashrama system. Okay, so if he is a kshatriya, for example, I mean, this is from Bhagavad Gita and Hindu philosophy. If he is born as a kshatriya, his duty is to protect and fight. If he is born as a brahmin, his duty is to teach and bring a moral education. If he is a shudra, he is supposed to serve. Like that, it used to talk about. Leave that aspect. But today, as a civil servant, you have dharma. As a doctor, you have dharma. So your actions, if it is based on your dharma, professional dharma, individual dharma, see, as a parent, we have certain dharma towards our children. Okay, certain rina that we have to fulfill, that is obligations. Okay, same way, detachment from our self-interest. Okay, we should be detached from our personal selfish interest. So that is what is the determinant. So the consequence is ulta of charvaka. So here the consequence is, if you are practicing dharma, if you are practicing karma yoga, what is going to happen? You're going to serve the society. It's going to lead to welfare of the society. It is going to lead to your spiritual growth. Spiritual growth means afterlife. You're going to attain moksha. You're going to reach heavens. Something like that. But what is Charvaka philosophy telling? All that is unreal. Whatever is reality, achieve that. Who knows what is there in the future? So it doesn't talk about renunciation. This is talking about renunciation. Give yourself, because you have to achieve something higher. In which world? Spiritual world. Okay, na? So welfare of the society is promoted. But negative is what? When you detach yourself, you don't want to do anything. Because I have renunciated. It can be misused. So when what happens is, you don't want to take any positive action. It can be taken into that level also. Okay, so people don't want to help others because saying that karma, so they will start focusing on karma or fatality. Okay, it may even lead to exploitation, because what happens is, when you say that you have to aspire something spiritual, okay, it may lead to exploitation of minorities or marginalized people, etc. And you don't take care of yourself, it may lead to personal dissatisfaction. So like this. So these are some of the keywords that has to be mentioned. Very quickly, I mean, these itself will take half an hour or 1 hour to teach. But in this answer, these are the keywords that you have to write. So essence, what does it basically talk about? Determinant, what your action should be in order to achieve ethics according to these theories and its consequence, positive and negative. And in the conclusion, you can write that these are the theories which assist or it helps individuals to behave so that they can attain, or so that it can be considered ethical. Something like that can be your conclusion. So this is how, or this is what you need to write for your answer for this particular question. Okay, so I hope it was useful, guys. We'll come up with similar videos in our next class also. Thank you so much for watching.